I came up with a new argument against panpsychism, which, if it works, is super duper strong. First, what is panpsychism? Well, the idea is, if you asked, what things have consciousness? The panpsychist would answer, all the things in the universe have consciousness. So, normal stuff like people and animals have consciousness, but so do things like fundamental particles. There is something that it's like to be a particle. Particles have a first-person experience of reality, even if it's an incredibly simple experience. Technically, this view could be called micropanpsychism, but I'm just going to call it panpsychism for simplicity. Now, I think that this idea, that all particles have consciousness, faces a serious problem. To illustrate the problem, consider the following statements. 1. It's most probable to be born in India. 2. It's just as probable to be born male as female. These statements seem very plausible. It would seem that the prior probability of me being born in India is the population of India divided by the population of the whole world. Currently, India has the largest population of any country, so it's the most probable country to be born into out of all countries. And it seems the prior probability of me being born male is the population of all males divided by the population of the whole world, which is about a 50-50 chance. More generally, the prior probability of oneself being born with the property X is the number of people there are with property X divided by the number of people there are in the whole world. Note, I need to emphasize that this is the prior probability we're talking about. For example, I know that I myself was not born in India. I have plenty of evidence for this fact. But if we bracketed off all such evidence and just use population statistics as our background knowledge, then the probability that we would be left with would be the population of India divided by the population of the world. But I could then update this probability on various pieces of evidence to conclude that I was not in fact born in India. Now, let's apply this reasoning to panpsychism. According to panpsychism, the sorts of things with consciousness can basically be divided into particles and the more complex consciousness found in organisms. The important point is that there are way more particles than organisms. This is pretty obvious because each organism is literally made of a ton of particles. However, if we want to put some numbers on these just for fun, there are roughly 10 to the 80 particles in the observable universe, and well, finding an estimate on the number of organisms that have ever lived is a bit more difficult, but the figures I've seen have been about 10 to the 50 or smaller. Although that's just Earth, and also that figure is dominated by bacteria. But setting all that aside and just going with these numbers, what's the prior probability that you would have an organism's conscious experience of reality given panpsychism? Well, using that principle from earlier, we would say that it's the 10 to the 50 organisms divided by the total number of conscious things. This works out to a prior probability of roughly 1 in 10 to the 30. That is super duper tiny. The prior probability of oneself having the complex experience of an organism given panpsychism is unimaginably small. So panpsychism actually predicts that you would not have an organism's experience of reality. It overwhelmingly predicts that you would have a particle's experience of reality. However, you are an organism, and you are not a particle. So, panpsychism has made a failed prediction. This strongly disconfirms panpsychism. To be clear, panpsychism isn't disconfirmed by the existence of organisms experiencing reality in general. The argument is that panpsychism predicts that you should expect yourself to be a particle, and you are not a particle. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.